Trucking safety. Register online at Halloween will be colder.
Overdrive, Turkey's winning pride and polished custom truck beauty competition this year ran a little later in the truck show season than usual. Virtual competition set if you want to put a cap on an in-person show season. Overdrive collected dozens of competitive entries in 7 categories. Put them all up for an audience vote and unveiled the winner in an online presentation this fall that you can access at overdriveonline.com. Navigate to the pride and polished section. Also there, read profiles of each winner as the weeks go by to close out the year. Again, that's overdriveonline.com.
The city of Lewiston. One mayor from a nearby town said witnesses were interviewed and taken to a nearby community center. He says some of the witnesses were teenagers.
A significant amount of shock going on with people that were actually witnesses. Obviously, when I was bringing people in that were looking for their loved ones, there's fear, there's panic, of course, there's worry, understandable. But the people that were actually there tonight, it was what I didn't hear. It's shock. It's shock. It's hard for me to explain.
Why? Because coaches have more information.
Police are now looking for 40-year-old Robert Carr. They say he's likely armed with an assault rifle. In the Today Show will have much more coverage. The latest from Lewiston, Maine, after we're done here on Today in Alabama. Now that Congress has a new House Speaker, it can officially respond to the war between Israel and Hamas. Emily Schmidt has the latest from Washington.
It took more than 3 weeks of infighting for Republicans to elect a Speaker of the House.
The Honorable Mike Johnson.
It took much less time for the first measure to come to the floor. A resolution in support of Israel and the war against Hamas passed overwhelmingly in minutes, 412 to 10.
The fact that this is the most bipartisan resolution in modern history, with 425 co-sponsors, over 97% of this body, speaks volumes.
In the White House Rose Garden, where President Biden and Australia's Prime Minister met House-elected Johnson, the president also began his public address with the situation in the Middle East, saying he has asked Israel's Prime Minister, but not demanded, that Israel wait to secure the release of hostages in Gaza before the ground invasion.
Obviously, they're in jeopardy. The question is whether or not there's any way of getting them out. If we get them out, we should get them out.
There's one vote to go ahead for victory.
An Israel Defense Forces spokesperson said Wednesday strikes on Gaza are strengthening the Israeli military ahead of the next stage of war. A Palestinian-American mother's son says she's trapped in Gaza in the middle of it all.
There's no food, there's little water, they're eating.
It's Runner Radio, and I'm Gary McNamara, coming up on the top of the hour. Have the latest from the mass shooting in Maine, or on the new speaker.
And the United States is urging the United Nations to ask for humanitarian pauses, not a ceasefire, but a chance to get help to those who are injured in Gaza. Former President Donald Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen was back on the witness stand for a second straight day, testifying in the civil fraud trial against Trump. Trump's lawyers argue that Cohen is unreliable since he served time in prison for lying to Congress.
There was word about the new batteries that they say were you got to have the evidence going.
No, you're not. You may have identified what the technology is going to be, mass producing those batteries, getting them to the market, and making them cheap and affordable.
Right.
We're a long ways away. Top of the hour news is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
Everyday diesel treatment for every fill-up.
Available at truck stops and online at Hotshot Secrets, powered by science.
We call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans. It's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or hot dog baseball game, because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from, the same small town that you're from, the one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas, the one that cares about its neighbors, lights fireworks, legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Tom Bodett here, wondering how many animals have to cross a stretch of road to warrant their own crossing sign. And how do they know it's not the same moose just going back and forth? Well, Motel 6 should put up a sign that says trucker crossing. Because with plenty of truck parking and discount code CP Red Eye, truckers flock to Motel 6 like a moose to a, well, you know the saying. I'm Tom Bodett for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
If you're a trucking industry professional, then you need to stay on top of changing regulations, equipment upgrades, and technology advancements. Fleet Owner Magazine gives you all of this and more. Written for fleet executives and managers, Fleet Owner gives you the business intelligence on operations, vehicle maintenance, regulations, and information technology you need to stay ahead. But that's not all. With its monthly print publication, daily and weekly email newsletters, and a website updated several times a day, Fleet Owner has all the latest news and information delivered to you when you want it and where you want it. From industry experts to award-winning writers and columnists, Fleet Owner is the #1 source for trucking information in North America. Remember to visit fleetowner.com every day for the latest industry news. You can also sign up to receive Newsline, their free email newsletter, and subscribe to Fleet Owner Magazine. Visit fleetowner.com. Fleet Owner, for news you can use.
You know, truck drivers play a critical role in our economy, hauling almost everything we buy. These men and women are the unsung heroes and the backbone of America. When our heroes need support, they turn to the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund. The St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund is a 501c3 truck driver charity that steps in to cover necessity household items when an injury or illness takes a driver off the road. Learn more and donate today at truckersfund.org. That's truckersfund.org.
That must be Melissa. I can tell. Yeah.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A manhunt underway in Maine. Multiple victims for active shooters and out of work. Police say at least 20 people were killed, dozens injured in a mass shooting at a bar and a bowling alley a few miles apart north of Portland. CBS's Laura Hayfoley is in Lewiston. Police all over the state are searching for 40-year-old Robert Card, who has been described as a person of interest.
Card is considered armed and dangerous. If people see him, they should not approach Card or make contact with him in any way.
Police were seen searching a parking garage after a vehicle of interest was found minutes away in Lisbon, Maine. Police say Card is a trained firearms instructor and should be considered armed and dangerous. Auburn Mayor Jason Lebeck helped at the scenes.
When I was bringing people in that were looking for their loved ones in fear, there's panic. Of course, there's worry, understandable.
Lewiston, Lisbon, and Bowdoin all under shelter-in-place orders. A breakthrough in the United Auto Workers strike. Union President Sean Fain says Ford employees have a tentative deal with the car maker.
On day 40 of the stand-up strike, we reached a historic agreement.
The 4-year deal includes 25% pay raises. Strikes are still on at GM and Stellantis. Israeli army officials say its troops and tanks launched an hours-long ground raid on Hamas targets in northern Gaza overnight to prep for a larger ground invasion. The UN is warning fuel in Gaza could be all gone today. Correspondent Kelly McCoy.
8 groups say hospitals are at risk if the fuel supplies run out. I don't think that's accurate.
The IDF's Jonathan Conrica says Hamas is holding supplies.
It's all inside the Gaza Strip, and there's enough many days for hospitals and water pumps to run. Only priorities are different. Hamas prefers to have all the fuel for its warfighting capabilities.
Israel has allowed in aid from Egypt, food, medical supplies, and water, but not fuel.
Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is under new scrutiny. A report by Senate Finance Committee Democrats says a wealthy friend forgave some or all of the $267,000 Thomas borrowed to buy a luxury RV. Lawmakers say Thomas failed to report it on financial disclosures. New research shows kids who grow up with difficulties may develop painful problems as adults. CBS's Michael George.
Study in journal Neurology found a quarter of participants who experienced at least one traumatic childhood event, such as abuse or neglect, were diagnosed with a headache disorder. That's compared to just 12% of participants without childhood trauma.
This is CBS News.
Need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Or find employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate to your site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Some kids in Texas are helping their classmates see the world a little brighter. 10-year-old Jared Casillas is colorblind.
Here's what everybody else has been saying the whole time.
But his fifth-grade classmates at Glen Hope Elementary in Colleyville pulled their allowances and bought him not one, but 2 pairs of colorblind glasses, one for indoors and out.
Pretty cool, right?
But Jared's mom says he's not just seeing the difference in certain colors now.
I think he sees a sense of, what happy friendship is.
There's no cure to color blindness, but special glasses and programs help. Monica Ricks, CBS News. A freebie for college grads still paying it back. Domino's, we put pizza over everything. Domino's is putting struggling students first. This time, the chain's giving away $1 million worth of free pizzas to customers resuming student loan programs. Get a medium cheese with 2 toppings or more. Fill out an application online. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
We want to earn your trust and confidence. We only recommend repairs that are absolutely Chico's Auto Parts. Better price, better experience, guaranteed.
Don't miss Sean Hannity. Biden incoherently appears live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Discover. If you like using debit over credit, should you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cashback on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Well, it's going to be another partly cloudy day and a dry day. Temperatures up around 83 or 84 degrees for a high temperature, so unseasonably warm again. The wind will be mostly on the light side, but at times, like yesterday, Saturday, it'll be up around 10 to 15 miles per hour, generally out of the east. Quiet tonight, down to about 61 degrees. More partly cloudy skies Friday. Saturday, mostly sunny. Sunday, high temperatures, mostly in the mid-80s. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive. Family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, we're looking good. Your Thursday kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving smoothly into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Auburn, and Greenville. No problems on 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Invisible Fence has Boundary Plus technology, giving your pet more play area right up to the boundary. No confusion, no lockouts, no stress. Call Vicky at Invisible Fence 265-2585. Buckle up, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is major delay.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Thursday. The search is on for a man accused of opening fire at Bowling Alley in Maine with him dead. Police say the suspect took off and is still on the run. Lewiston police in Maine are now looking for Robert Card, a firearms instructor and member of the Army Reserves. Authorities say he spent weeks at a mental health facility over the summer. In Alabama, 6 students at Wetumpka High School are accused of being involved in assault at the school last Wednesday. School officials say 6 students were assaulted, and now Wetumpka police are investigating. The U.S. House of Representatives has a new speaker. Republican majority elected Louisiana's Mike Johnson. He is the party's 4th nominee. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy was removed from that position 3 weeks ago. The House now appears unified, voting unanimously to support Israel in the war against Hamas. That's your news on this Thursday. I'm Jed Davis for WSFA 12 News.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it to. Right now, switching to MediShare can save you even more than usual on top of what you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, especially given how inflation is affecting us. And MediShare is the affordable, reliable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves about $500 a month. You might save even more. And MediShare is a Christian community that's been sharing each other's healthcare costs for 30 years now, and they're making it easier than ever. Apply by October 31st. You can save an additional $150 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just tell them the promo code SHARE to get your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch, like more than 400,000 people already have. Start saving. Here it is. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance will cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535 or biglou.com.
Hi, I'm Queen Latifah. Even with heart failure, my mother remains strong.
Because without strength, you lose hope. Together, we will rise above heart failure.
To help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to riseabovehf.org.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Here we roll.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
And good morning, Montgomery. It is time to rise and shine once again, if you can. For it is another day, one more, that you're on top of the ground and the ground's not on top of you. Can I get an amen for that one? Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high, something that'll change your perspective, or at least maybe give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning. It is October the 26th, 2023. Today's daily bread is simply entitled The Beauty of Ashes. Our scriptural insight today comes from Isaiah 61, 1 through 4. Isaiah 61, 1 through 3 reads, "The Lord has anointed me to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes." Govern yourselves accordingly. Good morning. And again, it is October the 26th, 2023. It is a day that has never been. It is a day that once it's gone, you'll never, ever see it again. You don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done this day that you don't. And you don't get a chance to come back to undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you be proud of what you have done this day. If you've lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we're blessed and given the charity and graciousness of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with it? Well, whatever you do what you can, while you can, until you can't for somebody else. Benjamin Elijah Maid said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must, rest if you can. But you never, ever, ever quit. Because quitters will never win. And while winners may lose at a thing or two, they will never be considered quitters because they put one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, walk. And if you cannot walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Don't ever, ever give up. Good morning to you. The beauty of the ashes. That's our daily bread for this day, October the 26th, 2023. We'll be back. And it's a great day to be alive.
Hey friend, welcome to today's word of encouragement from Our Daily Bread. The devotional for today, titled Beauty for Ashes, was written by Kenneth Peterson. In the aftermath of the Marshall Fire, the most destructive fire in Colorado history, one ministry offered to help families search through the ashes for valuable items. Family members mentioned precious objects they hoped were still preserved. Very little was. One man spoke tenderly of his wedding ring. He had placed it on his dresser in the upstairs bedroom. The house now gone, its contents had charred or melted into a single layer of debris at the basement level. Searchers looked for the ring in that same corner where the bedroom had been, without success. The prophet Isaiah wrote mournfully of the impending destruction of Jerusalem, which would be leveled. Likewise, there are times we feel the life we've built has been reduced to ashes. We feel we have nothing left emotionally and spiritually. But Isaiah 61 offers hope. He, God, has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to comfort all who mourn. God converts our tragedy into glory. Verse 3 assures us that he will bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes. And in verse 4, he promises to rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. At that Marshall fireside, one woman searched the ashes on the opposite side. There, still in its case, she unearthed the husband's wedding ring. In your despair, God reaches into your ashes and pulls out the one truly precious thing, you. This is today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading. It's from Isaiah chapter 61, verses 1 through 4. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. Let's pray. Dear God, with so much tragedy and heartbreak in our world and in our lives, would you please turn our ashes into beauty for your glory? Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much for listening today. My name is Wes Ford, and today's encouragement was provided by our Daily Bread listeners.
All right, it's time to rise and shine, people. Come on now. This is the general calling cadence this morning. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Pay attention.
Airborne, airborne, every day,
We run.
we run to the sun, no sweat,
Ah.
not yet, down in the mess hall.
You know it, say it. We got nothing to eat but a can of beans. Come on now. Let's get it. Let's get it. The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
It was molded and the meat was.
Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough air. Boom. All the way. When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, easing the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight. In flight, we're gonna be playing. We ain't gonna let the airplane stop. We're just gonna jump out in the middle of it.
All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving.
Like them boys did in Grenada.
In the drizzling rain.
Well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light leave with a cheering blow. Time to rise and shine, people. You're wasting daylight, or the daylight's coming, one or the other. Here we go. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne. All the way. All right then. Okay. Oh, no PT today. It's Thursday. Okay, we're not doing PT today. We'll start PT back up tomorrow, but not today. Okay, I'm just saying. But we do, like we do every morning. pay homage and honor to our armed forces of these United States, for all those who wear the uniform, past, present, and future. Because freedom is not free. Somebody has to keep it that way. So somebody's uncle, somebody's aunt, somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's father, somebody's mother, somebody's friend, somebody's cousin, whatever they are to you, they sit on the post around the world saying, not on my watch. And good morning to Maxwell and Gunner Air Force Base. Sometimes we forget this is an Air Force town. The Army town's up the street, Fort Benning. I don't give a crap what they renamed it. It's still Fort Benning to me. Just like Bragg's going to always be Bragg to me. All right? Now, what they need to do is rename that Edmund Pettus Bridge down there in Selma. That's right. We need to leave our post alone. But that's a whole different show. We're just not even going to worry about that one. Good morning to you. After all, though, the Air Force owes the Army a debt of gratitude, because it had not been for us, it wouldn't exist. I'm just saying, you know. I would like to fly one of them F-35s, though, just to see that bad boy moves. Yeah, maybe they'll invite me in one of these days. But give me a parachute, just in case. And last but certainly not least, the United States Marine Corps, whose motto is Semper Fidelis. But most Marines didn't finish the 8th grade, so they couldn't pronounce that word. So they just cut it short, Semper Fi. But they still got the best looking uniform with all the services, so I'm just saying. Maybe one of these days they'll make me an honorary Marine, because they screwed me, glued me, and tattooed me. And I cannot believe there are people who don't believe what I tell them. My Lord, why not? Why would I lie about that? I mean, there are many reasons too, but I'm not. Yes, 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 yes. Good morning, 6:26 in the morning. It is a great day to be alive. But before we get into any festivities, let's have a serious talk for a second. It's about a killer, and its name is fentanyl. Did you know that more than 1,400 Alabamians died in 2021 from drug overdoses? Well, it's time to have a conversation about substance abuse. Hope is real, recovery is real. So if you or a family member or friend are suffering from substance use disorder, call the Council on Substance Abuse, or COSA, now. The number is 334-262-1629. That's 262-1629. Or go to COSA.NCADD.org. Let's get some help today. Call COSA again, 262-1629, and get the help you need. It's a serious issue. Again, good morning to all of you. It is 6:27 in the morning. Uh, Another tragedy in America. It's getting to the point now. We just expect these things to happen. We hope they don't, but we expect them to happen. Up in Maine, and he didn't do the right thing, go ahead and kill himself. So they're still looking for him. So we'll talk a little bit about that and other things. And I'm only asking the question. I'm only asking the question. I know somebody's going to be all discombobulated when I ask the question, but is it time that we take another look at the Second Amendment? Yeah. I know. So I only got one problem with the Second Amendment. If you take people's guns, the only people going to have guns are the crooks. Now, if I can figure out how to get that one across, if I can figure out how to get that one, yeah, yeah. If I could figure out how to do that, we would, yeah, we could figure some of this out. But I can't. Anyway, gotta take a break. We'll be back uno momento. So don't you guys go any place. And the word of the day is yes. So don't go. And the word of the day is word. And the lessons of life today. Actually, I outdid myself today. Really, I outdid myself today. It's good stuff. So don't go any place. Come back and listen. Let me give a special shout out to Lieutenant Colonel Michael Fritz, who's over in Kuwait right now listening to us. We appreciate that. See, I told you I'm international. Now, when you get to Dubai, Michael, let me know. I was trying to say Lieutenant Colonel. My bad. I lost my military man. Lost my mind. Anyway, we'll be back after this. Trying to figure out what he's doing over there. See if we can talk to him one day. And we are back. Good morning, everybody. I hope this day finds you well. One thing about each day, it comes with its own packages, brother. It comes with its own nuances, its own problems, its own solutions, its own worries. So no sense worrying about yesterday because no matter what you want, no matter what you think, it's not coming back. It's coming. So start from today to make a better tomorrow. Good morning to you. Oh, and we also going to start early this year on Helping Hand because I'm finding as each day goes by, we're just having people catching the blues now. Although y'all, man, okay, I'm just saying, it's politics. That's what y'all living under. But we're going to do our best to try to make sure that you know the trials of life made a little bit easier for you. So every year we have this thing where we take people's name and number and something about them, and we try to give. So our goal this year is $20,000. Okay, I know we never get that much, but that's why we started early. So if you want to help us, you can make a check out to Helping Hand and send it up here to the radio station, 1 Commerce Street, Suite 300, attention need. Make you check out the Helping Hand. And we're going to start that. We're going to start that in earnest on Monday. But you can send it up here, or you can go to any Service First Bank and put it in the Helping Hand account. It's a DBA Helping Hand, but you can ask for my name, Kevin Elkins, and put it in there. I'm not going to buy a new Cadillac or anything like that. No, no, no. I just bought a new Cadillac about a week ago. Okay, a month ago I bought it. So we get, yeah, I don't need to know for that. But we want to try to make a significant difference this year in a lot of people's lives. And the way this works is that nobody can ask for the money. Somebody has to ask for you. Because I don't have time to go around and making sure everybody's telling me the truth. And people know people, and they know their struggles, they know their lives, and especially older people, if you know some, because older people are so, and I understand it. They got this pride thing, they'll sit there with the lights on, you know, and that's why we give them cash because cash it's redeemable any place, Walmart things, stuff like that, and cars are good. But boy, you sitting there in the cold and then the lights, or they put the turn the lights off, get a little cash in your hand, will help you. Anyway, so that's what we try to do. It's called Helping Hand. We try to do it every year. Normally, I don't get started until after Thanksgiving, but since I do have this great big goal this year, let's show people that we are still in the helping business. We're still in the business of looking out after our neighbor. And a lot of people do it every day. There's lots of people that don't. Open Spot Ministry does that. I mean, a lot of folks, they do it every day. They don't go around. They don't have a microphone to tell everybody what they're doing. And I try not to tell everybody what I'm doing, but it's a family thing for us. It's a family thing. We try to give we try to give a little. So if y'all want, again, Service First Bank, or you can send a letter to 1 Commerce Street, Suite 300, attention Kevin Elkins. Whatever amount you want to give, that's fine. There is no set limit. I mean, if you want to give the whole $10,000, we'll take it. That way, let me get some more people. But if not, whatever you can give, if you can give $5, that's cool. You know, I'm asking first before everybody else starts asking because I know a lot of people are going to be asking this year. But we'll move on to that later on. But it's called Help Your Hand, and each year we do it. And so I want you guys to be thinking about somebody that you might, if you had the money, who you would try to help. And those are the people we want to help if you had the money. And don't forget your neighbors sometimes. You know, I'm excited about this. There was a story in the paper a couple months ago about a guy whose lawn was just so high, and the city kept going by, and you know, they're tagging the guy, right? They're tagging the guy because his lawn was so high, and so suddenly one day somebody found out that the young man had cancer. He couldn't cut his grass, and so while he may have been making the city may have was trying to, you know, find him out of business, uh, but sometimes, and here's the question, and this is a lesson a lot. Sometimes we need to knock on the door and see what's wrong. Okay, don't don't think that somebody's lazy or somebody don't want to do it. Sometimes we need to knock on the door and see what's wrong. All right. So good morning, Keith. Now, word of the day. Word of the day. Um, that's funny. I forgot the word. I put the definition down. I did put the okay. What is this word? Anyway, it means to accept or act in accordance with a rule, decision, or recommendation. It's one of those court things. What is that word? I had the word last night. Okay, I'm looking at it on top of my head. It's on the top of my head. Accept or act in accordance with a rule, decision, or recommendation. That's a doggone shame. And I know the word. What is the word? Man, this is messed up. I didn't write the word down, but I wrote the definition down. Okay. I don't feel sleepy last night or something like that. I'll come back to that one in a little bit. Accept or act in accordance with a rule, decision, or recommendation. And that is it's a legal word, because you hear it all the time in court. Now my mind is going blank on me right now. I'll figure that one out later on. Right? But what's more important than the word of the day is the lesson of life. I wrote it down. I wrote it down correctly. I don't know what that word means. It's to be guided. What is that word? Okay. I'm just going. Yeah, I'm going to figure out that word. Okay, I can now. I can. This is the first time I ever did that. Now I put the word down without uh, putting putting the definition before. But this is the first time I've ever done the definition without the word. Come on, man. I must have been sleepy last night or something like that. I must have been, yeah, I must have been throw up for the throw up. Something like that. I don't know what that's all about. He's been getting on me about at least about the school all the time, so I'm just trying to help the brother out. Yeah, he really gets me on my case. What do you think you do at school for? Well, look at the school. For the most part, it's a pretty decent school. It's better now than it was. I mean, you know, you got a new principal over there and all that good stuff. Okay. Okay. I finally figured out the word. The word of the day is abide. 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 It means to accept or act in accordance with a rule, decision, or recommendation. In other words, the judge will say, "Do you abide by this? Do you abide by this decision?" And your answer is either yes or no. Okay. Abide. ABIDE, which means to accept or act in accordance with a rule or decision or recommendation. So will you abide by it? That's the question. All right, good. I found that word again. Okay, it's hard to. There's so many words in my head right now. Although my son right now can't put together such a vocabulary. I think he's really not. Anyway, good morning to Z and Emmanuel this morning. Okay, now, the lesson of life today is very important. And if you understand this one, you, my friend, will have an advantage over those that don't. Right? There has never, in the history of mankind, there has never been a lesson that has been taught that did not cost somebody. Let me say it one more time. There's never been a lesson taught that did not cost somebody. Lessons are not free. They cost somebody. But the one thing about a lesson, it is more valuable than gold, especially if you learn from it, learn from everybody else's mistakes. That way, it'll cost you less. But if not, let's get your life checkbook out. It is going to cost all of us something. Trust me, it's cost me something. Okay? So the lesson of life today is there's never been a lesson taught that did not cost somebody. Lessons are not free, but they are invaluable. Now, take that as your lesson of life this morning. And if you remember that, learn from other people's lessons of life. Make, when it's you making the mistake, it costs a little bit more. All right? Good morning to you. It is October the 26th, the 299th day of this year. It was on this day in 2001, President George W. Bush signed the USA Patriot Act, and that began the crumbling of a lot of our civil rights and rights as citizens of the United States, at least in my opinion. Again, I understood the purpose, but I think we took an axe and tried to chop down a blade of grass. I'm just saying. Anyway, it gave authority unprecedented ability to search, seize, detain, or eavesdrop in their pursuit of possible terrorists. And that is one of the reasons why one of our founding fathers said, he that would rather have safety rather than freedom deserves neither. President Bush and all that whole Patriot Act crap, you scared people to death, and then they gave up their right to be free from unreasonable searches. I think that's the Fourth Amendment. I believe that's the one that is, because we wanted to be safe. We wanted to be safe, so we will. I mean, they in that law, it allows people to come in your house, eavesdrop, look around your computer, look around your house without telling you they've been there. I'm just telling you that, and all that. So if the terrorists don't get us, our government will. I don't know. I've never been a fan of the Patriot Act. I think that was crazy. 1774, the first Continental Congress adjourned in Philadelphia. In 1825, the Erie Canal opened up in upstate New York, connecting Lake Erie and the Hudson River. In 1881, the gunfight at the OK Corral, it actually took place in Tombstone, Arizona, as Wyatt Earp and his two brothers, Doc Holliday, confronted Ike Clanton's gang. The three members of the Clanton gang were killed. Earp's brother and Holliday, of course, were wounded. In 1944, the World War II Battle of Lafayette, Gulf ended in a major victory for the Japanese forces, whose naval capabilities were badly crippled. 1949 was the year President Harry S. Truman signed a measure raising the minimum wage from 40 to 75 cents. That's right, you didn't. And now we're making $15 an hour. We still can't make it. That's what we call inflation. We're making $15 an hour. We still can't pay the light bill. 1949, President Harry S. Truman. I already said that. 1965, the Beatles received the MBE medal as members of the most excellent order of the British Empire from Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace. 1979 was the year South Korean President Park Chung-hee was shot to death by a head of the Korean Central Intelligence Agency, Kim Jae-koo, are close to it. In 1980, Israeli President Yitzhak Rabin became the first Israeli head of state to visit Egypt. In 1984, Baby Faye, a newborn with a severe heart defect, was given the heart of a baboon in an experimental transplant at Loma Linda, California. Baby Faye lived 21 days with the animal heart. In the year 2000, the New York Yankees became the first team for more than a quarter century to win 3 straight World Series championships. Well, they paying all them people, they all won, beating the New York Mets 4-2 in Game 5 of their Subway Series. The Yankees matched the Oakland Athletics 3 in a row, 1972-74, and won their 4th title in 5 years. In 2002, a hostage siege by Chechen rebels at a Moscow theater ended up with 129 of the 800 plus captives dead. Most from the knockout gas used by Russian special forces who stormed the theater. 41 rebels were also died. In 2006, a wildfire in Southern California killed 5 firefighters. Investigators later determined that the cause of the blaze was arson. It is 6:51 in the morning. 14 years ago, a U.S. military helicopter crashed while returning from the scene of a firefight and suspected Taliban drug traffickers in western Afghanistan, killing 10 Americans, including 3 DEA agents. 4 more troops were killed when the 2 helicopters collided over southern Afghanistan. You have probably received the 12th annual Mark Twain Prize of American Women during a salute at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. And 9 years ago, left-leaning Dilma Rousseff was narrowly re-elected in Brazil's tightest presidential election since the return of democracy 3 decades earlier. Serena Williams won the WTA Tour Finals with the 3rd straight year and 5th time overall. Never have been a tennis fan, but I like watching those little girls play that game. You know, just pop. Okay, it's kind of boring to me watching them go back and forth. Kind of like racing, watching cars go left for like 3 hours. I don't get that. 5 years ago, federal authorities captured a Florida man with a criminal history and accused him of sending 13 mail bombs to prominent Democrats. The Los Angeles Dodgers and Boston Red Sox took the field for what will become the longest World Series game in history. 18-inning marathon lasting 7 hours and 20 minutes. The Red Sox won 3-2 on a home run by Max Muncy. Former Fox News Channel personality Megan Kelly was fired from the NBC morning show after triggering an uproar by suggesting it was okay for white people to wear blackface at Halloween. And it don't bother me either. I agree with it. You wear your face whatever you want to wear in your face. Okay. What day is it today? What days are we celebrating today? Well, you'll find National Chicken Fried Steak Day. Now, if you can find chicken fried steak with some good gravy, that white gravy, that right there, that puts some lead in your pencil. Okay, that stuff is good. National Chicken Fried Steak Day. National Day, and all our military friends, reserve and active duty, it is the National Day of the Deployed. It's our day to say thank you to all the military serving outside the United States of America. National Financial Crime Fighter Day. Let me leave that alone. I don't have enough money to fight crime. National Mincemeat Day. I don't know what mincemeat is, but it sounds good. It's like spam or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Okay. Oh, coming up next hour, along with you don't know this yet, I haven't told you yet, but when we get here, I'll tell you. We got Tommy Tuberville going to join us for about 5 or 10 minutes this morning on the phone to Washington, D.C. to talk to us for a couple minutes about what's going on in Washington, D.C. You know, this thing with which I'm glad he's doing, the military thing. So we're going to talk to him about that in a couple minutes. You know, it's hard to get people up this early in the morning, but Washington, D.C. is like it's an hour ahead of us, so they should be up already. National Mule Day. Join us as we celebrate the ever useful mule, the National Mule Day in October. And I just wonder if he gets tired of walking, can we make lunch out of it? I mean, what good is mules anyway? National Noah Day. So if your name happens to be Noah, you only know one Noah, okay, in my whole life, only one. Now I know two. One in the Bible and one's I knew here. Okay. So happy birthday, happy Noah Day. National Tennessee Day. It ain't so okay, everybody except for the football team. Alabama sent them home. Alabama took care of them this past weekend. I'm just saying. National Lavache Micro Needle Day. That's it's a micro needle. It's a process in which they do things to the face with some needles. So that's what it is. I don't understand. And last but not least, this is the day that people on marijuana, it'll happen to them every once in a while. But it's National Howl at the Moon Night. So I'm thinking if you're smoking that Mary Joe or taking some of that hallucinogenic, or taking some of that stuff, some of that stuff you snort up your nose and stuff like that, and you probably, this day is probably for you. There's my understanding that some of that stuff makes you do all kinds of things. I'm just saying. I do not know that. National Howl at the Moon. But the best day of all the days we celebrate today, the best thing we do all day today is National, okay, what was that? National Chicken Fried Steak Day. Okay, I used to love some chicken fried steak. I don't really know how to cook it, but I'm good. Okay, celebrate who? People can go to Win Dixie today because they celebrate it. Anyway, so that's the thing we're celebrating today. There are a lot of things to talk about. I know everybody heard about what happened in it's Connecticut. Another person with a gun, taking pot shots at human beings. I think at last count, I believe what 20 people that killed up there. I think it was 22 dead, dozens injured, slaughter at a bowling alley. The manhunt continued. And I can say about this guy, besides he's a monster, he didn't do the right thing and kill himself. He didn't do the right thing to pull the trigger on himself. Okay? So I don't know what's wrong with people. I guess I'm not. I've heard he's a veteran. That's true. Well, I don't know what that means. Yeah. But anyway, they said he had mental disease. Every time some of these people do things, we say, well, there are some things that we don't have to be told. If you shoot dozens of people, we know you're crazy. You don't even have to tell us that. As a matter of fact, we ought to do something to put you out your misery. Okay, that's all I'm saying. We nobody has to tell us anymore that people who do things like this are crazy. We know that. We just know that. There's no doubt about it. We're crazy. We'll be back. We'll be back. Someday, the
I'm talking about weekend. A massive manhunt is underway in Maine after at least 16 people were killed, dozens injured in mass shootings at a bar in a bowling alley in Portland. Parents and children didn't expect any recreation, but it was kids' bowling league. People across Amherst County having to stay inside their homes with doors locked. It's further spending. You know, even said there's a lot of kids that hang out for a while, was thinking they got the kids off. It doesn't happen yet. Police say they're looking for a person of interest, Robert Paul. Most money to travel is unrealistic. According to a main law enforcement Tennessee by CBS News, the others explained firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve recently reported mental health issues and threatened to shoot up the National Guard base. He was committed to a facility for 2 weeks over the summer. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. Who's not? Picket lines are coming down at Ford Assembly Line. The UAW has reached a 4-year contract agreement that includes 25% pay raises. This is one of the hopes of paved the way for.
You're not overseas someplace today? That's overseas doing so well. Okay, sure. Appreciate you coming. Ecuador, right? Yeah. It's one of our longest term partnerships. We actually go to Ecuador twice a year. And so I don't, but we have a big trip, big group that youth and families can go down to in March on spring break every year. And then usually I and one other pastor go down and teach in the seminary in the fall of every year.
And after more than 3 weeks without a House of Representatives,
Right.
finally has a speaker.
As long as you ain't going meetings, I'm good. I'm trying to go sometimes. I don't know anybody personally, but I know some people that moved directly back to Hot over there when all that broke out. There's one of the Catholic schools here had a group of students over there that they had to figure out how to get over into Jordan and then get the way out. I finally got home. Crazy. I saw a powder keg, man, ready to blow. I still don't figure out what people got against people just I just don't think what. But the Genesis, I know all the way back to Ishmael. The Lord says the descendants of Ishmael are going to be at war with the descendants of Jacob. And there's like that sort of Esau and the other guy, whatever. Yeah, Jacob and Esau is a little different. God destroyed Edom and all the descendants of Esau. Centuries ago. It's interesting too, because and Israel hasn't done everything right. But the reason they keep so tight on the Palestinians is because terrorists keep infiltrating and getting in Israel. If you want Palestinian people to be oppressed, keep the terrorists out. But the terrorists, Hamas, the organization Hamas is still. We want nothing. They don't care about the Palestinians. They're human shields to them. All they want is death to Israel. So that's crazy. I don't study all that history. I don't understand trying to figure it out. So. Calling in early in the hour or late in the special lines or I never use Thursday for those kind of things. He said just put it all the day. What do you want to talk about with me today? All right. Go out.
you're gonna get you one of these Apple Watches, you know.
I'm still old school.
I know, but you know what these things can do for you. Just if the electricity goes out and the power is down. But even on a regular watch, the batteries are bad.
Silver watch. None recharges anytime I'm under light. Of course, that'll eventually die too. Well, we can stick to something strictly biblical, or we can take a biblical perspective on, or with the shooting in Maine.
Yeah,
things getting more violent. In the United States. Yeah.
I'm going to do my early commercial first. That way we can talk without influence. Hello. Okay, hold on a couple of minutes there, and we'll be right with you. Well, he can't even. Okay, hold on a second. Turn it down. Okay, well, I thought he was going to come on about 7:15. Hello. 7:12. It's 7:08 now.
You can be first.
Yeah, but I got this spot going on right here. Okay, you still there? Okay. 7:12. I'm on a break right now, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. And so, could you hold on a second? Hello. Okay, hold on. Limits in my kitchen. This works. This works. This works. Get it on up here.
Put together well.
Maybe 3 minutes or less. Good. Excuse me. It's early.
Yes, sir, it is. Zarel doing okay?
Yeah. Still hate the school, but other than that.
Is he a junior this year?
Yeah. Simmons said we got one more year. We can knock this out easy. You've been the wrong stone school, brother. You were in the Portland school. You think about what he wants to do. I'm sure he wants to be engineer or join Air Force. He's in LTC right now. I don't really know what they do. They teach the mark, give you an introduction to military life. You already got that one for you. Yeah. But I'm easy on because the Air Force kind of easy life for them.
Yeah. What they call the chair force.
Remember the day that you can't win war, but this is like at some point in time,
some point in time, you need somebody over your head dropping bombs.
Although they got mad at Clinton on time to spend, but it ain't very hard to set it. It ain't very hard to drop bombs and things like that. You absolutely right. You never have to be personal with it. You never do the comments like that. I'm still trying to figure out our Nagasaki Ocean. Well, if we did the right thing there. I understand why we did it. 700,000 feet. Well, at the time, that was okay. I downloaded those for the past million. That's what they say. We'll never know. That's right. That's what they said. They said. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. Interruption there. Now I'm waiting for Tommy real quick to call us. I think they just hung up on us. So okay, well I guess since they're going to be speaking now, now he's in the snap. So I don't know what they're doing right there. I thought he was going to call. I thought he was going to call again on the around 15 past the hour. However, that was not to be. So if he calls us back, we'll talk to him. But until then, hey, we got somebody more important than Tom Somerville right now. And we have our good pastor, Sean Marathon, from the Morning View Baptist Church over there in, on whatever that school is over there.
It's on Calhoun Road, right in the middle. Calhoun Elementary School.
That's right. So, yeah, here, I don't know who's called me this early morning already. This ain't covered yet. But let me get rid of this. Find out who this is so I can move on. Good morning, who's this? Oh, well, he's real close to you, I can tell. Well, that's in Maine. We really don't have much to do with that one. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I hear you. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have Sean pray for the brother, but yeah, we can't fix that one right now. All right, all right. Appreciate it. We can't fix that. Good morning. Who's this? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Absolutely. All right. All right there, Mr. Ed.
Well, good morning, Kevin. It's a good start to the show this morning.
Yeah, yes, good morning.
You know, can we chase this a little bit?
Well, go right ahead.
And I'm going to make a statement. Maybe this will launch us into a good discussion. When you talk about what's going on in your culture, different culture, I don't know what culture it's not, but obviously American culture. But I think it's just true of any culture. You get what you glorify. And so when we talk about how much violence and stuff is going on in American culture, when we talk about, things like this mass shooting in Maine, when we talk about, I mean, you can't pick up any news feed. Doesn't matter what source you're going to pick, whether it's ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox News. If you look at the news feed every morning, I mean, there's killings everywhere. You've got people that are doing horrible things. You've got, recently this mother who killed her own children. You've got, this young couple that killed a man and stole his car and burned the car. We've got the shooting of Maine. We've got violence in our cities. We've got violence in our schools. You get what you glorify. And I think that means, when we in American culture especially, we glorify violence. It gets a lot of attention. We entertain ourselves with it. Our children are brought up on it, between media, video games. We especially have a culture now where you and I, the idea of two people remaining friends, even though they disagree on what are fundamental matters, is unheard of. We are literally taught, well, for you to disagree with me means you hate me. And so disagreement automatically means hate. We're supposed to hate one another if we disagree on different issues. And I will, go back to what Ed was saying. There needs to be a different ethic taught. This idea that you love your enemies. Gee, I wonder where that came from, the Bible. This whole idea that we can disagree on fundamental issues, and yet I still respect you as a human being, and you still respect me as a human being. And we still treat one another with dignity and respect, even though we disagree. But again, that's not what our media wants to see. That's not what our culture wants to see. That's not what they want to see on the news. This guy that just shot up a bunch of people in Maine, he is going to run 24/7 on the news cycle now for the next 2-3 weeks. He is going to receive untold attention. And so when you have a culture that teaches people to hate one another and not respect one another, when you have prominent figures in our government and whatever talking about, well, these people that disagree with me, we need to re-educate them. We might as well just be doing like North Korea and China and sticking them in re-education camps because they disagree with me. That foments that hatred. Then you have a man who is mentally ill, or you have a young person who is in just a very hard situation in life and they see no way out and they think violence is their only way. Whatever their motivations may be, whatever may be causing them to do that, they engage in violence because it's a way to go out in glory, right? You will live, it's better to go down in infamy than to live peaceably, is what so many of these people come to believe. And even go back to comments you made in your first hour. That's why so many of these men do these horrific things and then they shoot themselves, right? They take their own life because they're seeking to go down in infamy. They're going to be glorified even in death by the American news cycle. And so, and I know this is all going to come up again. The discussion after the mass shooting day is going to come back to gun rights and all that kind of thing, and whether we need to curb gun rights and all that kind of stuff. And I certainly believe in common sense gun laws. But the reality is, if we're talking about guns after these kind of things, we're missing what's really going on. The issue is people's hearts. The issue is a penchant for violence and a fomenting of hatred of your fellow man. And in a culture, we live in a culture where violence is glorified. And we've got to ask harder questions because at the end of the day, if we take away guns, we're going to find another way. People have this kind of hatred in their hearts. We go back years to the Columbine shooting. Those boys didn't just have guns; they got on the internet and figured out how to make bombs. It's if someone has determined to do violence against a major amount of people in their heart, they're going to find a way to do it. And if we don't start asking questions about the heart and how we get to the heart of a greater cultural issue we have, we're not going to see this curve. We're going to see this grow, and that's a sad reality.
Yeah. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. Those travesties continue to go on the international level, and that's exactly right. There's no doubt when we talk about these things, and especially what's going on in the Middle East, there are complex, diplomatic and historical realities that are going on. But we got to talk about human life.
All right. Hey, appreciate your call. Um, from what I understand, Christianity is probably the only religion or the only philosophy that tells us when somebody wrongs us, turn the other cheek. I don't know. Which is, it doesn't stop the guy who wants to hit you from hitting you,
right?
But it stops the way you respond to that. Biblically, is there ever a time to fight? I mean, not that it's a time. There's a season, a time. What's that? Season for all things, a time for all things. Biblically, isn't there? Isn't there a time though that people should fight?
Well, and certainly, first of all, I mean, we talk about it at a governmental level. Romans 13 talks about what the government has the responsibility to do in terms of the exercise of its authority. And the government, in order to protect order, to create as free an environment as possible for the good and flourishing of its people, bears the sword, and that means it bears the constabulary, the police force,
right.
And it bears the power of the army to try to protect and defend and keep peace and those kind of things. And certainly, so we have people that are enlisted in those jobs of military and police that are called to fight, if you will, for the greater goals of government. And so the Bible certainly endorses that. It endorses the whole idea of, when you have someone that does violence against another, that the state is supposed to step in and stop that from happening. Or you have court systems and others, and it's supposed to be a just system according to righteous law. I think you can make a case too that generally there is this ability to defend oneself. If someone is seeking to murder you, if someone is seeking to do you harm, you certainly have the ability to react and respond and protect yourself and protect your loved ones. I would argue that's a responsibility of parents to their children to protect them and keep them. And so, yes, there are those occasions to fight. But the individual Christian, also has the ability to make an alternative decision. I think, go back to the 1950s. You had 5 young men that were seeking to reach a tribe of very secluded Indians in the forests of Ecuador. And these young men, they began to have contact with this very primitive tribe. This tribe was known to be very, very violent. These young men found a way to land their plane along a riverbank. They had one interaction that they thought went well, but on their second interaction, this tribe of Indians came back and killed them, speared all 5 of them. These men had guns on them. They had the ability to protect themselves, to shoot the natives who were attacking. But those 5 Christian men who were missionaries did not do it. There was evidence that they fired their guns into the air to attempt to scare the natives, did not work, obviously, but they didn't fire at the natives. And so those men made a conscious choice not to defend themselves because, from their perspective, one of their wives was riding in the aftermath because they had evidently had this conversation. What if they try to kill us? These men had said, well, if they try to kill us, we would rather die because we know we'll go to heaven if we die. But if we take their lives and they're not in Christ, then they won't. So we won't take their lives. And so those men made a conscious decision. Those Christians made a conscious decision not to react, to defend themselves in a way that would take lives of others. Now, that was their choice in that moment, their decision, and amazing missionary efforts went into Ecuador after that, and we saw that many people in that tribe come to Christ. But that's just one example, right? When we talk about that ethic of turn the cheek, it is the ultimate way that Christ has given us to de-escalate. Right? Because what's the tendency of the human heart? Though? The tendency of the human heart is, you slap my face, I'm going to knock your teeth out, right? It's escalating. And if I knock your teeth out, your inclination is, well, I'm going to get a knife and stab you, right? And so the response of the human flesh is always to escalate. It's not an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth, right? We don't want to stop at just at having parity in our justice, right? I don't want to just have parity. I don't want you to have to just suffer the same thing I've suffered. I want you to have worse. And that's what the human flesh does. And so that's what that rule, that law of Jesus Christ is meant to stop.
Good morning on air.
Good morning, sir. That's right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, I would think abortion is just one symptom of exactly what you're saying. There is very little value given to human life, right? And again, we're not taught to respect and appreciate the gift of life.
What happened? What happened? Yeah, it's the people. It's the people that give. It's everybody who gives. Well, I flew over. Yeah, yeah, that was a tarmac in the state. Yeah, yeah. Why would I lie? I am the most humble guy you know. That is, okay. Listen, if you believe that, then you, my friend, are illusional. Wait a minute. You are illusional. But listen, I, I I realize that you are jealous. Amen. Okay. You have what we call wait, you have what you have what we call P envy. Okay. Okay. What is it? This is the first time for everything, I guess. All right then. Now let's move on to something important here. Good morning on there. I know. No, what I do, yeah, when I'm turning the other cheek, yeah, right. But that's like trying to tell a guy he ain't really a girl. If he believes he's a girl, then he believes he's a girl. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, yeah. There's that lie. There's that lie again. That's that lie. Yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's to Dr. King's point. That's exactly right. When good men sit by and let evil triumph, we have a problem. And that speaks to so many things that went on during the civil rights movement. And the civil rights movement was such an interesting time, just historically, as you talk about, Christianity was one of the driving forces behind wanting more civil rights. But you also had Southern Christianity that was a roadblock and a bastion of racism with it. It goes back, 150 years too, though, right? Because even when we talk about the time during slavery, Christianity was the major force behind speaking of freedom of slaves, and at the same time, Southern Christianity was also the bastion of racism during that. And so there's no question.
And Southern Democrat.
Yeah, yeah, well, even done a little bit, right? But it's there's the fact of the matter is there are people that do evil things in the name of their religion, and that's every religion. That's every people.
But and to be intellectually honest, every group, subgroup, be it political, be it cultural, we are not perfect people. Every last one of us, every group has done something. We talk about people who were killed in Ecuador by people who are savage, or just ignorant or unintelligent, whatever you want to call it. But there's no time in history that we can find where man got along with man, all men.
And this goes all the way back to Cain and Abel in the garden,
Yeah.
right? So,
I mean,
you have one brother killing another. And you talk about when sin entered the world, with Adam and Eve, sin entered the world, sin entered the created order. And you have the first mother off the bat, with one generation of Eve. And this speaks to what the human heart is capable of. The human heart is capable of beautiful and wonderful things, made in the image of God. All of us are, right? And so people are capable of good things. Even as we talk about God's common grace, even non-Christian people are capable of doing good things and of living good lives. That's God's common grace. But also because of the sin in our hearts and the corruption in our hearts, we are capable of great evil against one another.
Okay. Good morning, on there. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a PhD in specifically in evangelism and New Testament theology. Yes, sir.
Mm. Okay. Let's take a break. When we come back, we can get back to that. Our guest this morning is Dr. Sean Merrithew from the head pastor at Morning View Baptist Church here in Montgomery, Alabama. You can give us a call 860-1440. If you cannot get in, you can text me 241-9998.
Woo, Kevin,
Yeah.
some of your callers. It's like fight night on Thursday morning. You need to get a referee in here. Go rounds. Uh,
Yeah. What would we be? What if we didn't have the South, the past history of the South to talk about? I guess the air would just now we come up with some other stuff.
well, I'm going to pull this into that. I'm sorry if I'm doing that. It's just,
I got to be here 3 hours.
it's, you know, people keep showing up, you know, that folks do this and folks do this. Yes, they did this. And there's no justification for it.
Right, but
You also can't change it.
right, you can't undo the past. It was what it was. But and I think something else. The Bible itself does not actually deal with whether or not any man should be a slave. It tells their slaves how to act, and I've always interpreted that saying, no matter where you find yourself in life, there's a certain way to act if you call yourself a follower of man. There's a way. Man's going to do what man is going to do to get their things back. But the Bible itself doesn't really condemn or condone slavery.
Yeah, and I preached a seriously Philemon on this. You know, in Philemon, you have Paul, who was only a slave his master. And bringing up that question, and the reality is, when we talk about what slavery is, you have to talk about it in a spectrum. Because in those early, for instance, we still legally enslave people today.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yep. Which they didn't have a prison system. And so if a man couldn't pay his debt, he sold himself and effectively his ability to labor to another person in order to pay his debts instead of going to debtor's prison. Now, but then you have, you know, what was in America, you have chattel slavery, which is an ethnic enslavement of a people purely because of their skin color. Not because they did anything wrong, you know, not because they needed to pay debts, not because they were a conquered people. Well, I guess in a sense they were, because people went into Africa, other tribes, and conquered them and sold them in slavery.
Well, even Africans still enslaved Africans.
Yeah, which gets lost in the discussion.
Yeah.
And, so there are degrees of slavery, and that's the Bible is speaking into a time when there's both kinds going on. There's all kinds going on. But it gives us the principle, the principle of human beings are made in the image of God. They are worthy of dignity and respect. And so, if any system, whether it be slavery or some other system, aspect of human culture, if it's unjust, it should not exist. And that's why Christianity has been the fomenting, kind of revolution against slavery in the Roman Empire, slavery in the States.
It's a dual-edged sword. Had it not been for people who believe in Christianity, at least the tenets of it, they stood in the gap often, the abolitionists and people like that, to if not eradicate it, at least give people the dignity of being a human being. And on the other hand, like he said, well, we're not willing to fight. I mean, well, we had a civil war, but I'm not sure the Civil War was actually about slavery per se. I don't know if it was about don't make him work for free. I think it was more like commerce. South wanted slaves and the North wanted that.
Well, and it is interesting. There's an argument there. I do think the Civil War, slavery was the underlying issue, but it's interesting. You ever see the movie Amistad?
Yeah.
That captures historical reality. One of the ways that abolitionists first began attacking the institution of slavery was using the commerce law, because they realized it was the commerce laws that were protecting the slave trade in the United States, because people were being treated like property.
It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Okay, before I get back to my guests, let's have a serious talk for a second. It's all about a killer, and its name is fentanyl. Did you know that more than 1,400 Alabamians died in 2021 from drug overdoses? It's time to have a conversation about substance abuse. Hope is real. Recovery is real. If you are a family member or a friend suffering from substance abuse disorder, call the Council on Substance Abuse or COSA now. Give them a call, 334-262-1629. That's 334-262-1629. Or go to COSA, NCABB.org, NCABB.org. Let's get some help today. Call COSA, 334-262-1629, and get the help you need now. Our last caller was talking about, do Christians, are we not willing to fight for what we say we believe?
Well, and couch that in terms too of the whole issue of separation of church. Just historically, what the founding fathers put in place with that first amendment, the Bill of Rights, was this idea that the state was supposed to show no favor to any particular faith or religion, and therefore the state was to refrain, was not to be making laws that in any way restricted the practice of religion. Now, this discussion has most recently been before us with everything with COVID. Did the government have the right to shut down public worship of churches? And there's a whole lot of lawsuits, and this came back to the forefront during COVID. I'm not going to try to unpack that. But we do want to understand the intent was that the government not intrude itself into the practice of religion. But how that phrase is used now, separation of church and state, it's used nowadays, in the past especially 50, 60 years, to say that we are not allowed to have religion intrude into any aspect of publicly supported life. So we can't have that in our public schools, we can't have this in any public gatherings that are sponsored by the state, any of these kind of things, which is a reversal of what the founding fathers did. And so it's on this basis that you actually have the free speech rights of religious people being hindered and even taken away by the state on the grounds that we have to have the separation of church and state. And again, according to the intent of the Constitution, the intent of our founding fathers, that's absolutely wrong. And so his comment then, why don't we as Christian people stand up for them? And again, we're back to something you said again earlier in the shows I was listening on the way in this day. Those who will value safety over liberty is needed. What one of them really previously said. There's a lot of things that people accept different trade-offs and different implications of different things in the name of remaining peaceable, in the name of and that has resulted in an erosion of rights of everybody.
And when you sign a piece of paper, the Patriot Act, like George Bush, that you glorified, when you can come into people's homes, eavesdrop on them, log into their computer, see what they're doing, listen to their cell phone calls without them even knowing, trust me, we live in some dangerous time. That's not America that I know, the one I serve. It's just not that's not no. There's a there Faulkner University is going to have a debate. I don't know if you read it about is there really a God? Wouldn't it be a great argument if you can't prove that there isn't? Then I'm going to take the position that there is. I think that's a good argument. What say you?
Oh well, and that's kind of the most basic argument that should be offered out of the gate. So and actually that debate, my children attended that debate at Faulkner University yesterday.
Okay.
It was a debate between a Christian professor and an atheist professor.
Right.
And that so many times when we talk about atheism versus Christianity, or just atheism versus theism,
Mhm.
you know, there is that assumption, right? That well, the atheist has already won. It's up to the Christian to prove whether or not there is a God. And so we're kind of beginning the argument a lopsided way. So I would side with you, Kevin, and say, well, the atheist is just as responsible to prove there isn't one. You know, why isn't that onus on that person to prove that there isn't? And so there's a lot better way to engage apologetics than the way we're doing so often.
Interesting. I'll take a phone call right quick. Good morning on there. You okay?
Yes.
Right. Interesting. Again, though, I take the position if you can't prove that it isn't, then I'm going to be left with the conclusion that it is. Right. Hmm. Right. Right. Okay. Hey. Okay. Hey, appreciate your call. Tell Caleb I said hello. All right, thank you. You know, the problem with human beings sometimes, we get to counting the things that are bad sometimes, and we forget the things that are good. I always tell people, don't thank God for not, I mean, don't complain that God didn't give you everything you deserve. Be glad he didn't.
Mm.
Okay. So it's how you look at how you look at life often. I mean, none of us are perfect and we all done something, you know, if you had a stop if you'd have turned left today rather than turn right, who knows?
Right.
You know, who knows what would have happened. So
Well, you know, in our Wednesday night Bible study, I'm teaching through the book of Job right now. And of course, Job is a perfect example of this. Of you have a man who was faithful to the Lord, and yet he lost everything. All 10 of his children killed in a freak accident. Every bit of wealth during that ancient society, every bit of wealth that he had was either killed or stolen. So you have a man in one day, all his children killed, reduced to destitution, and the book of Job is him crying out, "Why? Why did this happen to me, God? I've been a good man. How could you let this happen to me?" And we have this sense in the human heart that when things don't go our way, we want to put God on trial, right?
Yeah.
And C.S. Lewis even wrote about this. He called it God. The name of the book was God in the Dock, and that's the British word for being, on the witness stand. We want to put God on trial, God in the dock, and treat God as if you have to answer my question. Why didn't you answer my prayer when this loved one, was paralyzed? Why didn't you intervene when my parent died or my child died? Why didn't you do this? And that then becomes our basis for unbelief. And God's answer is, I'm a kind and just and compassionate God. And I am infinitely, think about the word infinitely, I am infinitely more wise and more powerful and more capable than you can even understand. You trust me and see. And that's a hard answer.
It is.
That's a hard answer.
Good morning on there. Yes.
I've said that on the show, sir. I've talked about how Jesus was not a white man. I won't say what.
He was a black man.
Well, because he was Jewish. Brother, I'll tell you this. We can get in debates all day long about what color. I don't care what color he was. If he was black, fine. I'm still going to worship him. I'm still going to love him because he was because there's not any biblical or historical evidence that says Jesus was black. He was Jewish. If he was a dark Jew, wonderful. If he was a light Jew, wonderful. He was Jewish, and the color of his skin doesn't matter. He's the savior of the world. And see that, but that's an idolatry right there. If anyone, it's just as bad for you to say Jesus has to be black as it is for a white person to say Jesus has to be white. You're making an idolatry of color. When the idol we have to lay down is anything that would take away from Christ.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. And I would gladly tell people that's wrong. I've told people that's wrong. He's not white. Again, I have gone into so many different places. Jesus was not white. Okay. Stop making an idol of color. No, you're doing it too. You're doing it too. You're doing the same thing that other people, you accuse other people of. You're making an idol of color, and it's not about color. It's not about color.
Okay. Well, listen, I gotta run. I'm take one more call, then we're going to Good morning, who's this? You had my answer before. I don't know why you keep asking the same thing. You know the answer I gave you.
We got to keep working on that, Kevin.
Yeah. But listen, you keep doing what you do, and I'll keep doing what I do, and we'll see how it works out in the end.
Well, we got to base scripture, Kevin. And Kevin, the greatest command is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength.
And again, I ask the same question. Define love. Exactly. And it's not this warm feeling that you feel in your heart. It's about doing
that. Can be part of that, but yes, it's this idea of valuing another and sacrificing
exactly
for the beloved and cherishing it.
Okay, I just think that when a human being says he loves something around here in America, especially in America, it comes with a warm feeling and an androgynous perspective.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another show on that, Kevin.
Yeah.
But I'll work on that with you.
Well,
we are possible. It is capable to love God. He tells us.
Okay, and again, define what love is.
We'll do it again. Lord, we do thank you for today. And Lord, I know it's been a raucous day. I know with many calls and many perspectives. Lord, we're just thankful to live in a society and in a culture where we can have this discussion. But Lord, let us never forget all about Christ, the Savior who came, who lived the life that we could not live, died the death that we should have died, who rose from the grave to conquer death, so that all people can let us walk by faith in Christ alone. It's a good thing that we pray.
Well, thanks for coming back.
Always fun.
Appreciate it. We'll be back.
Thanks for having me. All right. You remember the very first show you had me? You had me to smile in person. Well, bowling alley. They had no food. This was coming, and and then scrambling for cover. And once they do, what's going on?
There's a massive search right now for a train of firearms in police and northern Gaza. For a few hours to trouble Hamas. The IDF, Jonathan Fabrizio.
We did a tactical raid between
On this report, the U.S. military informing the team. None of the jobs that we could so well, but we to do this with it's more into the country. This will be going to be small. The military spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to tackle the problem. Moms and dads would be wise to keep a close eye on their kids' behavior at one restaurant. So co-op is $50 for the This is CBS News. Because we
Hey, Dan, results I used to get.
Right now, we are the exact one phone has now and incinerator ever. Absolutely free. 42424. So 42424. Credit card companies are working with you. We report calculate more than $105 billion in in fees.
Outstanding credit card debt reached $1 trillion for the first time since the agency began collecting credit card debt. Collecting on credit cards reached $3.2 trillion. It says the data shows more and more consumers are carrying balances month to month, and many are falling deeper into debt. This is a free CBS News Washington.
Time to size up for the cities in the nation. Factoring in team performance, ticket prices, and accessibility to stadiums, this year's Wallet Hub survey puts New York, home of the Yankees and Mets, at the top of the list. LA comes in second, then St. Louis, Atlanta, and Boston. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
And good morning, everybody. Hope says they find you well. Hope you're doing all right. Thanks for Sean for coming up. Always interesting conversations with him and the rest of you, color struck folks. But before we get to anything serious, let's talk about something that is really serious. And it's about a killer. It's named fentanyl. Now, did you know that more than 1,400 Alabamians died in 2021 from drug overdoses? It's time to take a conversation about substance abuse. Hope is real. Recovery is real. If you are a family member or a friend are suffering from substance use disorder, call the Council on Substance Abuse or COSA right now. 334 262 1629. That's 262 1629. Or go to COSA, ncadd.org. That's ncadd.org. Let's get help today. Call COSA 262 1629, 262 1629, and get the help you need right now. And we are back. Well, the Republicans got their, I'm wondering sometimes, do people really think the color of one's skin? I'm not talking about back in the day. I'm talking about today. If anybody really believes that the color of one's skin really matters, I mean, this is more culture today than it is color. Can we ever have a conversation about things without, sure, there's some bad people. The hell in Africa, black folks got sold to other black folks by black people. Was that color or was that culture? It was what it was. It is what it is. But what do you say to black people who sell other black people to black people? So it's culture. It's not necessarily. If you watch that movie, The Woman King, they would have you think that they would fight the Europeans and the Spanish of not giving, of not selling black folks, but they were selling black folks. The homie tried. They tried to make it look halfway good, but if you do a little research on the homie, they were selling black people, and they were black. So, hey, man has always been unkind to man, all the time. It never has stopped. Probably never will stop. Okay, I'm just saying. Everything can't be about the color of one's skin. It's about the color of your character and the person that you are, the person that you want to be. Midnight Elijah May said it is about the substance of your heart and your mind. Okay. So anyway, 860-1440 is the number here. You want to give us a call? Talk to us. There's a lot of news on the day. Man kills 22 people, didn't do it and kill himself. And now okay, outstanding. I hope they catch him and make him pay. Good morning. Who's this? It's not the color. It's not the color. It's the culture. It is the culture and the philosophical principles of which you live your life by. Okay, well, stop whining. Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to. All right, Bridget. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. Sorry about that, but you call me back on that. I'll let you. But yeah, I just can't let it go. I understand that human beings are fraught with imperfections. Human beings are fraught with imperfections. We have ours, they have theirs. I got mine, you got yours. We have imperfection. We're not very nice human beings sometimes. We do all kinds of hideous things to one another. Good morning. Yeah. We are the real world. That's right. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because the best way, okay, let me tell you what. The best way. Well, yeah, you make the same point all the time, but let me tell you something. The only time you have to pay attention to other people if you don't have your own. If that's the problem, then how come we don't have some of these rich athletes come up with a black news channel? I mean, but you can't. No, you can't blame people for taking their own perspective. But you already made it. You already made it. This is about power. I just think you told it. Of course you're mentally ill. Exactly. Exactly. I heard it too. Yeah. And, and, and again, it's their news. They can say what they want to say. Yeah, it is. It's ain't got to do with people at all. Right? Right? Well, again, if you have your own, tell your own news. Okay. Well, wait. What? Wait. One thing about it. Wait a minute. One thing about it. Ralph Featherstone, who used to be a DJ here on WXBI, said, if you don't want to hear it, don't let it happen. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like all of them. Right. Okay, I got you. I'm kidding. You cannot be mentally here because you want to go out and kill people for nothing. You can't. Yeah. Obviously, he's mentally ill, or they need to handle him. And if you're black, you do the same thing. You're mentally ill. Okay. Obviously, you got some mental issues. Obviously. Good morning. Yes. It's their news. Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. I can make you believe anything you don't want to believe. No. I believe in the basic. Wait a minute. I believe in the basic fundamental principles of the philosophy of conservatism, which ain't got nothing to do with killing people. They did. They did. I don't care. I don't know who they were. I wasn't here. No. Yeah, because they greatly they blabbered it. They were proud of it. They publicized it. Ooh, Black folks, black folks used to be Republican. Okay, and you also got some white folks down in that Lincoln Museum too. I know that's a lie I keep hearing. That's a lie I keep hearing. I wasn't here. here. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. But I've never seen a group of people make excuses. Again, probably so, but I don't know. All I know is, look, here's what I know. It took both sides to get together to try to straighten this country out on that issue. And I think white folks went in harm, like white people went in harm's way, white people went in harm's way, and black folks went in harm's way. Okay, yeah, yeah. Black folks did. Mhm. And again, I got a hard lip problem understanding America. I don't have time. Yeah. Okay, but it wasn't he? He was born in Jerusalem. What makes you a Jew? Yeah. Okay. I don't know, and I don't really care in 2023. Why? Here's what I know. Yeah, here's what I know. We don't understand the Middle East. We never will. Right. Then why are people so cynical and trying to eradicate it? Right? Okay. Listen, again, we will never understand them. Right. Listen. Now, again, so long ago, my friend, I got to take a break. I got to take my break out. So long ago, I'm still trying to figure out the USA. I don't know what's going on over here. We'll be back.
Listen to News Radio 1440 at work, Radio 1440 at home through your Alexa. Better police officer. See why people are calling any way of the lies. The entire series now, and new episodes are with Entertainment presents in the wherever you listen. Online consultation with your product.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy.
Yeah, put your shoes on. We're headed to the doctor in 10 minutes. Okay, Mom. Hey, am I going to have to get a shot? Yes, it's time for your yearly vaccines. We have to make sure all your vaccines are up to date before you start back to school. I have to provide a record to the school. Alabama law requires children of all ages to be up to date on their immunizations before attending school. Every child needs to be vaccinated against polio, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, also known as whooping cough, measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Do you want to know the secret to baby brain development? It's you. Your baby's brain develops rapidly in her first few years. 2 apples on top. So talk to her, read and sing as much as you can starting from birth. You don't need fancy toys. Play peekaboo, read a book, or just talk about your day. For more information on baby brain development, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
The summer heat has set in, and it doesn't look like Alabama's cooling down anytime soon. To avoid heat illness, it's important to take preventative measures. Drink more fluids. Stay indoors. When temperatures are extreme, reduce or eliminate strenuous activities during the hottest times of the day. Protect yourself from the sun with a hat and sunscreen, and never leave pets or people in parked vehicles. This message brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and this station.
I got smart about mortgages, smart about college. When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find it at smartaboutmoney.org, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Smartaboutmoney.org, the easy place to start when you want to get smart.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack.
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio.
Okay, a little question for you this morning. Get you up and moving. 820-1440 is the number here. You just got to talk with them about 8:26 in the morning on this Thursday morning. All right, let me see if we're waiting on to. Okay, that's a good one right there. All right then. Good morning, who's this? Hello. Oh, wait, let me get that too. Sorry about that. Good morning. Yes. 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 True. Comprehension. Yeah. 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 Right here. Hey, appreciate it. Good morning, Rich. Good morning. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The other one started giving me a little problems there, so I had to, me, I don't want to get caught up in cold and in the car break down. Now, I'm like Charlton Heston. The only way I get away from cars, they bury me in one. I wouldn't buy that crap in the world. So, no. America started cars with gas. In the 20s, they tried to do the electric thing, and it didn't work out. So, yeah. Hmm. Okay. I get it. Yeah. All right, I'll try that. I did. I ate with some connector, but connector is kind of hot. I thought it was. I don't like the hot stuff, and I gotta have me some real sausage. I mean, some sausage. I'll check it out. All right, hey, appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? This is he. Pretty good. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you're a better DJ than I am, brother. So but leave that alone. Anyway, so it's gonna be what time is it's gonna be at Idlewild Park. Um, yeah, I think it's IDA Idlewild. Yeah, and it's gonna be Saturday. What time? 10, 11, 12. Okay, 4 hours. Okay, yeah. All right, I get to about 2:29. I mean, 1:59. Yeah. I'll walk that. I'll walk that last half mile with you. Okay. All right. Right. Appreciate it. All right. Something else. I'm looking at when Dixie is 104 years old today. I got to get that in a little bit. Oh, you want to do this? All right. Okay. All right. Tell me. Wait. Hold. Wait a minute. wait. Okay, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Every time, tell me. Okay, just because you keep going, don't mean I'm gonna do my point across. Tell me what I have said or let somebody say that was untrue about the black people. He didn't say we were clowns. He didn't say we all were clowns. I don't. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, y'all, wait till we gave y'all the right to vote. You think you got a right to talk? Okay, no problem. Bye. 860 Oh, everything. Okay, so I guess today at Winn Dixie in Sturbridge, there's Miss Rome's 104th birthday. She's still working, working. So you need to go out there and tell her happy birthday and that. Well, I think it's in Sturbridge. I think it's on Bond Road, someplace out there. Ms. Rome, Romays, apostrophe S. So I guess it's 100. If I was sure, if I was absolutely positively sure that I was going to live until I was 104, there's a couple guys in town, I'll try to put my foot up to the button. But since I'm not quite sure, I'm going to become that, get that old, I'm just going to live life kind of quiet. Okay? But if I knew for sure I was going to make that 104, you know what? I'd be trying to whoop on a couple of people that I know, but I don't. But they're bigger than I am. So I'm just going to leave that alone. Anyway, so if you get a chance, go out to Winn Dixie. I don't know what time the festivities begin. It's nice to see a what do they call it, a centenarian plus. It's nice to see somebody 100 years old. This is what they do. Also want to say get more to this kind of 90. And this fan, they're going to 90. They're almost 100. You know, if they can make it to 102, it's come in. It'll be 96, I think, in March. And this days is 90, so 50-50 almost maybe at 92. Um, but we'll see how that goes up. So go out there, check Miss Rome out there and say happy birthday to her. You don't get to see too many people 104 years old in your life, so don't miss an opportunity to get some wisdom. Okay, good morning. Who's this? No, it ain't. That is the COSA, the Council of Substance Abuse. We don't want to call them for. I don't have substance abuse. All right. Come on, who's this? Yeah. Yeah. Well, now I don't know if she can keep with it all. You don't know that either. Well, I don't know. But well, I ain't got a clue. My place. Yeah, yeah. I, I don't have a clue. Mhm. All right. And with that, I got to run. Good morning. Who's this? I got to take my next break. See you again. Good morning. Yeah. Well, you got to do that. Go ahead and do that. Yeah. Yeah. They're not the mayor. Hey, they're not the mayor of the airways like I am. Right? They haven't been doing this as long as I've been doing it. So yeah, I get it out of leeway. I don't care. I don't care. But I don't care. So stop whining about it. Wait, this is the talk radio is like talk radio is like a football game. If you don't want to be hit, then don't call. Okay, I'm good. Well, you have someone as big as mine is that. What do you mean? Yeah. I expect more. I expect more out of black folks. Okay, and culture. It is. We do have a lot of cultural issues. Wrong. Mm. Everybody want to tell me what to do on my show. Well, after 32 years of doing this, I think I can do it pretty well. Yeah. Well, that's true. Definitely. That's a lie. I mean, that's a lie. Give me. Oh, wait. Give me something I say that's disrespectful. Oh, only if it's true. Only if it's true. Yeah. Listen, I've talked about Caucasians. Okay. Like you guys, you Montgomeryans, seriously, you Montgomeryans are so hypersensitive. It's hard to have a conversation with you. Okay. See you later. See you later. Y'all just, whew, good morning. Yes. Yeah, yeah. If I don't like you, it ain't because of your color. Whew. I don't know, but I don't know, but listen, I tell everybody, I will allow you to come down here and co-host the show with me. If you think you can do a better job, come on down. Let's see what you do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah. All right, appreciate it. Let me take my last break at hour. What comes back? You know this. Yeah, I finally figured it out. I figured it out. Most of you Southerners that want to be from Indiana, like you want to be from Indiana just like me. That 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 that's the problem. I feel. I know how you feel. I'm sorry. You're not from South Bend. Okay? Your perspective has been tainted after years and years and years of living down here. I got you. I feel it. You need to get out of town for a couple of weeks, go see some of the rest of the world, and you'll be surprised at your perspective. How it will change. Be back. Yeah, I got to do one first, then I'll come out like that. Yeah. Big news is not you. Oh, okay, we're back. 860-1440 is, I'm sure glad to know it's Friday. Oh, these weeks are going by fast. 860-1440 is the number. All right, then, let's write phones, and I see who's there. Good morning. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, not happy. Mm. And then we got all screwed up on the phone, so it didn't work out for us. Mm. Because we have been conditioned, because the Democratic Party has conditioned our folks. Everything that doesn't work, it's got something to do with race. And that's just the way it is now. Yeah, that's what he said. Mm. Mm. Yeah, but I think that's crazy. We going to the books they put in public schools. Yeah, the books that go in our schools. All right. But they got in our libraries here. We got homosexual books given to pre-teenagers. I mean, everybody's trying to do something to the kids. Yeah. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. No. Hey, because if you do it, someone want to do it too. Good morning, on there. Okay. Now, yeah, I had a lot of things to talk about this morning. Some mornings, y'all take me places I don't even want to go. You know. Yeah, no, it's up to me. It's up to me. I know. I just try to give you freedom of speech. Let you get it out there. But sometimes, that's just okay. Again, at least 16 people are dead in Main Street, a number expected, and that number is expected to rise when it's all said and done. So, wow, this is that is a dangerous thing. But anyway, I'll move right on to some other things, because I had some other things to talk about today. I don't know what happened to my paper here, but I had it up. Oh, there we go, right there. Here's one right here. Yeah, but that one was there, and then and he came in. I don't know what kind of rifle it is, but they called him on tape doing it, so he can't say he didn't do it. Yeah, it was him. Good morning, this. It's been a few of them. It's been a few of them. Absolutely. Good morning. All right. Yeah. Well, one thing for sure, if you don't participate in that kind of thing, they won't call your name at all. Sure. It doesn't make any difference what they call them. It's still the same thing. Okay. Mm. Well, I agree. But again, if you don't do it, you don't give people the opportunity to call you anything. Well, but let me ask you a question. If you're on a patrol, and and a half a click up the road, you know that the enemy is right around the corner if you make a left. Which one you gonna do? You're gonna go right. So if we don't put ourselves in a position to be categorized, talked about, whatever, then we don't have to worry about that. We also got more freedom in this country than anywhere else. Okay. Hey, I gotta go because my time's up. Don't mean to cut you short, but I gotta go. Time's up. Again, I like Ralph Feather song you say, if you don't want to hear, don't let it happen. If you already know what they're gonna say, don't do it. Anyway, see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same.